we're back here at the Kenosha Public Museum. Our first stop is looking at the timeline to figure out where are we talking about, when, because those are important things to make connections to. I'm stopping to look at what do glaciers do to the land. We learned about that already this year, so I'm already starting to form connections so I can dig deeper into the Ice Age and to know how's it going to guide us into the next chapter we look at.
How do museums bring timelines to life? Let's take a look at the relics below so we can see information that Ms. Boyle just talked about on the diagram, but we can also look at real relics.
This artifact here is telling us, and that sign I just read is talking about how you can see the scratches in this piece of rock that shows where the glaciers were scraping up against. Look at all those scratch marks from the glaciers as they were rubbing up against this rock.
Standing at a display like this and reading the text, studying the images, and connecting it to what we already know, it's learning in action. We're using those strong reading skills that we have and combining them with a focused study in this museum. There's so much to see here that Miss Boyle and I came back for another view. We're going to show you some of why we came back for the second trip and how we're attempting to stay focused on our learning. Hey, Miss Boyle, talk to us about why we revisit text, but in this case, why are we revisiting a museum?
Oh, that's such a good question. Fourth graders, good readers, good scientists, and historians take what they learn in their textbook or in an article and get their little tasting of what it's about. And then they come to places like this to deepen their understanding, to gain more knowledge, and to really take time with the text, but also the text of the displays. We were here before, and of course, just like at any museum, they have these really beautiful, large, interesting exhibits to look at, but oftentimes we miss the important information that's shown on the plaques. Like here it's telling me about how they can figure out the age of different animals and mammoths by looking at their teeth. Last time I missed that because I was more focused on the exhibits, which is normal, but that's why I come back here again.
Kind of like how text can get overwhelming. Sometimes you're so drawn in and it's called overstimulating. So then we have to focus and fine tune our own questioning and wondering. Then we got to keep learning.
Miss Chisholm, what have we done in our first hour of being here in this display room?
Well, like we were saying, how important it is to look at the text and kind of read what that text is asking us. This one, and I really love how it's set up because it requires us to really engage and focus on extinction. When we think of that, we think about extinction, and a lot of us know so much about what it means to be extinct. In this case, though, we're focused on the large mammals that became extinct at the end of the Ice Age about 10,000 years ago. The big question is why? This frame talks about what we almost know. So we've spent time reading and studying, and not only just reading the words, but reading the questions and thinking, what are they asking me? What do they expect me to already know? So that as we move into the next frame, which talks about what we can prove, it is kind of like when we think about our textbook, maybe 2 pages of text, but the type of skills and the type of energy that we need to bring to this type of reading requires us to have that stamina, that understanding of basic vocabulary related to what we're talking about. And that's what makes this kind of reading so exciting.
I'm over here looking at some more of these signs as we've continued through the display, and I'm noticing that the structure that they've set it up in is matching what we were looking at over there. I'm thinking about what do I know, what am I learning, And what did I think before that was true or might not be true? What misconceptions or what thoughts am I having that are being confirmed or being proven in the displays I'm looking at?
It seems like the structure really matters, Miss Boyle.
Yes, they've structured it again about like what I had thought and then what can be proven. That's what I'm learning about on all of these signs, and I'm making those connections to what I've already learned and what I'm learning now. I'm back over here at the same sign that I started at, and I'm noticing after walking through and really reading carefully this past hour that the signs talk a lot about teeth. That tells me teeth are really important in the study of the history of these animals, because over here it talked about how their diets influence their teeth structure. Over here, they're talking about how teeth helped scientists determine the age of the mammoths and mastodons. That's purposeful, right? The historians who set up this museum, the writers of these displays, have put in these important facts. They want you to make these connections, as we're seeing from sign to sign, the repetition. It's important. You need to be noticing these things, looking for the connections as you're going through. I'm now here looking at this sign that says the dirt on diet. Originally, I was like, do they eat dirt? Is that what it's trying to tell me? It's not, right? We talked about how I have a thought and I have to read to either see if that's true or if it's not true. It's not true they didn't eat dirt. What it's talking about is they're using an expression. The dirt on diet means the information about their diets.
Thanks for tuning in, and join us in our next video as we wander Wisconsin some more.
Hi, we're here at the state capitol. As you heard, the state capitol is a really important place where important decisions are made, meetings are held, and it's the home of our state's government.